Good morning, folks. It's 9:08. That's weird. Hand barely got near the phone and started moving it. I like that. 9:08 a.m. Monday, April 4th, 2016. Um, this is about birth, death, and ascension. Before we get started, there's a set of there. I'm making personal logs, not one every day. Sometimes two a day. When things come up that are pretty important, as I have time. I don't have much time, and I'm just now getting finished with all these orders that I've had for a while. Um, but I am going to give you basic information, and a lot of it's not. It is what it is. It's what I see. It's what I know. It's what I understand. Understanding comes from perceiving one way or another, and I see the stuff. It's easy for me. It is now. It wasn't when I first started. I was aware of stuff and everything, but everyone has to go through the process of waking up. The conscious minds, the energy from the planet, is what literally runs most of your conscious mind. The real you inside, the bigger part of your spirit is you, your soul, essence of very few that are source. But the guide energy here has a lot to in your body. It came from Gaia. It's no longer Gaia, but it's her energy frequencies. It's been separated to be put in your bodies and do stuff, help you have lives, and it's also used to control you a little bit in some instances. This is nothing bad said against Gaia whatsoever. Okay, she's awesome, beautiful, love her. And a lot of the energy that's in your bodies, most of it's really nice and sweet too, but you remember it's been beat up too over many, 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 many years. Anyway, as a lot of people try to see things and understand things, they're letting their conscious mind. When I talk about going inside yourself and thinking of your conscious mind like a set of gears and pulling the pins out and then just letting it float away, you make the intention of setting yourself free from that part of the energy so you can be yourself. Okay. I know it sounds like this video's about meditation. It's not, folks. As I say things, as I know I need to tell you things, I just tell you it's just what it is. Okay. But these last few videos I'm leaving you with are if you go by the title, it'll literally help you understand things. And this it's not going to be 500. It's only going to be a few, and it's just important. Paul and Burju, Deanna. I mean, all these other wonderful people that can really see. They're really strong. They can see the truth. They're going to just continue and do it. Okay, just keep doing it and help you awaken. And the more you actually awaken and see what's out there, then you have your own truth, because that's what you have to have your own truth anyway. Not something you read, but reading something is awesome. Seeing something on the internet is awesome, but sometimes, but you have to be able to experience that for yourself. And if you don't, then all you have is someone else's thoughts, words, whatever. A lot of people can see and feel a little bit, but especially when they're not always, but especially when they're solar plexus oriented, they're making get decisions on what is going on in the head. Okay, and that's mostly conscious mind. You have to separate the conscious mind. Okay, your regular spirit guides and stuff that you have, not the animals, but the human type, human fae type spirit guides. They've been told to lie to you, made to lie to you. That's what you've had to do to them. When you were their spirit guide, within certain reasons, when it was time to say something, you're going to say it, or their personal angel right next to you was going to literally pound on you. Okay, so, and that didn't hardly ever happen because the angel's right there and nasty, and a lot bigger than you were, so a lot stronger. Excuse me, like I said, they're gone now. Creation's changing big time. Okay, it already has, but it's getting ready to turn the key. That engine, that Ferrari, is about to crank up. Okay. The also the shirts, these shirts that I wear, like this one. I've got two of them. I just a couple of days ago ordered a third. They're on Amazon.com, and it's The Mountain. The Mountain, this, that, that's where to find them. A lot of people that, made comments and stuff about it, and I figured I'd just go ahead and say that out loud. They're pretty good pictures. I like them. I have a lot of T-shirts. I mean, a lot. Anyway, okay, let's get into the topic. I just want to get that stuff out there real quick. Birth, death, and ascension. Okay, before we go anywhere, let's look at those three words. If we're going to talk about it, let's define what we're talking about to start with. The parameters of the conversation regarding each word, and the three of them together. We have birth. That is the birth of the human body, a male sperm, female egg producing an embryo that grows into a being. Okay, and then it's born out of the woman. That's called birth. Okay, death is when the body shuts down and then the two spirits inside leave. Okay, ascension. Now, ascension is a tricky one. Ascension has taken on a life of its own. In people's minds, the internet, books, all over the place. What is ascension? Okay, just think about it just for 1 second. To you, what does ascension mean? The general thought process of ascension is about elevating your energies to a higher level. It's maybe trying to make yourself a better, cleaner you, like more like an angel or something like that, and evolve to a next step. I'm not belittling it, okay? My voice carries a different tone with it when I'm saying that, but there's a reason for that, okay? The reason, like there is most everything else, whether it's good or bad. Now, the reason for that is you are who you are, okay? Your frequencies that you are when you're put in a body, when you come out, that's who you are again. You have frustration from emotional issues, from being hammered by being in a physical body. Excuse me. Coffee burps. But at the same time, you are that same set of frequencies. You've just been stressed out real hard. When you go in, the original first being, when it was first created out of happenstance in the first dimension, there was nothing in there. There's no overseer or putting everything together. Hey there, buddy. That bird's flying around, popping in to see me. Anyway, to get food and stuff, but one of them was sent to see me, just kind of lighten up a little bit. Anyway, the message. This thing with ascension, it's like we want to purify ourselves, clean ourselves. When we get out of a body and we drop the body and go back to our normal self, who we really are on the other side, you've released the physical body. Physical mass slows your vibrations down. Now, just a second ago, I was talking about the other side, the first being in the first dimension where they just come together. Okay, there's nothing doing that. It's just energy fields just coming in and out of each other. There's no thought process there anywhere controlling stuff. Okay, that's where sentiency was born and is born. Okay, so and there's, like I said, there's 4 new first beings, first type beings that'll be coming out later. They're very well grown right now, but they're not complete by any means. One of them close, but whatever. Don't worry about it. It's not an issue, and it's being taken care of. That's what I meant by don't worry about it. It's always good to think about this stuff, pursue it a little bit, but just don't get distraught about it. So anyway, as one of these beings is these energy fields are coming together, creating sentient life, sentient energy, spirit. The more heavy particulate mass that gets pulled into this chemical energetic reaction, the more negative that being's going to be. Fact. Okay, now that's my fact. I'm there, see it, know it, understand it. Okay, when it comes to reading negativity and stuff, I can do that. Nothing can see it the way I do. It's just how I was made. A bloodhound can sniff better than a Great Dane. It's no better than it. It's just that's purpose. Okay, um, something's made like that, and most of you are not. The very, 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 very vast majority of y'all are not made for a purpose. The souls, they're just released and let them be what they are and then grow into who they are. But you should have been left alone to do that without being hammered. Anyway, this heavy particulate matter, when you're in a body, it makes you more negative. Your frequency's more negative, but it's adding more to it. It's not really making your frequencies negative. See, that was a mistake I just made. It doesn't make your frequencies negative. It slows down the vibration in them because you're working through that. So what comes out of the body is slowed down. So when the body dies, then you come out and you're free of the heavy particulate mass, which is more negative. If that's the only truth that there is to ascension. Now you can clean up your thought process and try and keep thinking more positive, which is wonderful. Man, that's awesome, isn't it? And that's a struggle in life. And it's honorable, commendable. It's good for you as long as you don't over frustrate yourself with it. Remember, trying to find perfection is the road to eternal frustration, as far as eternally while you're in the body. And when you get out of the body, if you try to be perfect, there's no such thing. So if you hold on to the thought process of perfection in and out of body, you will be eternally frustrated. But when you're out of body, you're not that worried about it. Okay, we're different. We're similar but different. So there is all this having been said. Okay, that explains the truth, the only truth there is to ascension. Okay, a lot of people won't like that. I don't care. It's not that it doesn't matter, but it's not going to affect how I say something. And see, honestly, again, I do care because I want you to know the truth. You see, folks, it's so easy to be so strong and see so well and do all kinds of stuff. We still screw up. It's no big deal. Keep going. And somebody who's not awake, when you're unsure about something, usually they'll pounce right on you. And especially when you try to do consultations for people who are 27% negative and more, sometimes they go out of the way to lie to you after you told them something that's right. They refuse to accept it. There's a lot behind what it's like to grow up metaphysically, and a lot of people won't. I've always said something that is so true, that waking up is hard to do. I mean, I found that out years ago, man. I mean, years ago. Fine, I've been the thing fighting. Okay, I've been going through all kinds of hell. It's not like no one else has. Okay, but I understand the difficulties in it. I really do. I see it for other people, which is sad. And with all that, the reason what I was made for, to protect and serve, that makes me feel like a failure. It's like I should have done better, should have done better. It's good to have that thought process, but remember, no one's perfect. That especially includes me. So you just keep going forward and do the best you can, and then try to learn what you can as you go along. Now that's very strong improvement. Okay, that's really making yourself better than what you were. You can be better than yourself. We're just no better than anyone else. Okay. That's a thought process that's been totally left out of creation, and one that needs to be, instituted. Okay, if something exists, if you're if what if somebody that I'm gonna throw, this isn't the best analogy, but let me throw it at you. If you're a child and you have say you're a young boy and you have 20 toys, and you have to protect your toys, You might like some of the toys more than the other ones, but if you're going to protect all of them, they have to be all of equal value. If you're a shepherd and you have sheep, bad analogy again, uh, you have to protect the sheep equally. They're all of equal value as far as their right to protection and the right to be here. Okay. Now there's some you're more affectionate with, than the others. Some of them would be more loving. Some of them try to bite you. Okay, but you still protect them with that same philosophy. That's why creation's gone this way, because those that the lily and hour that were made of love, compassion, and honor, and incredible fortitude, that's what they do. They protect. So that's why creation went from abuse to compassion, honor, and equality. It's just happening, and that's it. But anyway, it's really good for everyone. Having lives where you just become more of what you are, you're more of a sculptor, artist, or something, you can have more lives where you flow into that. Okay, when you are an explorer, then you'll have lives, maybe in a small boat on a primitive planet, maybe on a starship going out real far all over the place. We have new universes, people. We have 1.67 thousand new universes. Okay, they're out there, just a little over that, whatever. And there's already some life going on in there, and they have the new energy bodies. Okay, that's a topic for maybe right before I go or something. Anyway. So, if Ascension is cleaning up your actual negative frequencies, that only can happen when you're out of a body in yourself. Okay? When you're in a body, you're going through hell. You're having some wonderful good times, too. Your emotions fluctuate so much while in a frustrating, a negative, abusive environment that you're not yourself. And then plus you have the spirit of the planet attached to you too. So there's no way in hell that you're going to be cleaned of negative frequencies that are actually you until you get the hell out of the body. You have to be free, be yourself. Then calm down, and then you say you want to be cleaned. Aramelius, you'll find out about him in book 1. Okay? Creation is beginning your origin. It's Aramelius. He was one of the two male parts of big, huge, clean source energy. His primary focal point in the very beginning is where Ara came from, the strongest part of him, and it was heart and fortitude. He's tried to clean some of the souls up when they were out of body, and it's like I was talking with Bergier and Paul too. When they're seeing someone, it's like, Jay, it's weird because I see someone at 27%, but it's like, they're 17 or something. And I, explained, I said, look at this, and, they do. And then I told them, I said, what happened is that Aramelius was trying to clean them, and he didn't do a good job. That's what Ara does. Okay, that's what the body of Ara does. He cleans them when they want to be cleaned, but they have to be free of frustrations. They have to be out of body, number 1, and number 2, free of frustrations. That, I guess, is something you can call ascension, but it's not. You really can't call it ascension. Okay? So there again, there's the third mistake I've made, saying something and then having to go back and say it again. People, this is a normal thing. Get used to it. It's called learning. It's called improving on something within yourself. Okay? As a matter of fact, another thing here is Pegasi. They were created by Aramelius. Aramelius and Lilith created Pegasi. Okay? The Pegasus horse. Unicorns and dragon came from Lily and Ara. And that happened first. And then Aramelius, especially Aramelius, was pushing, and Lilith was okay with it. But Aramelius, his male ego type issue, really got aggressive and wanted to create a bigger, better horse. So they're a little more aggressive and not as feeling as the unicorn are. And there's things that are out there that are going to be fixed and changed very softly, very properly, and in everyone's best interest, especially the particular being changed. That's the most important thing. What's best for them. This is no longer a creation about everybody serves something. It's about everybody becoming themselves who they really are. Don't you have to have that to start to get anywhere? How can you start changing yourself for the better until you really become yourself? Isn't that part of waking up? Okay, so anyway, and once you're out of body and you clean and everything, you can actually go. You can actually get cleaned up to where you have less negativity in you. As people get cleaned up, like if they're 47% negative, when they're clean to 17%, they're cleaner with less negative frequencies. However, the more negative something is, almost always the less heart energy it has. Okay? So even though someone's cleaner, they still don't have the same heart. But you still really have to commend people for doing the best they can to clean themselves up. Uh, Life is hard. It was made that way, and those good moments, we need to hold on to them. Help inspire hope and joy. You know, help us take those next 10 steps. Okay, that's the Ascension birth. Excuse me. Wear my coffee on my mustache. I'm just trying to hurry. I got to get these other orders out. Um, anyway, birth. What happens? How does this happen? A man and a woman get together, produce the sperm and egg to create the embryo. As soon as that embryo is starting to grow, then the energy of the planet is put in there. Okay, as soon as that's starting to develop, the energy of one of the spirits from the planet is put in there. It settles in first. There's a reason for that. The original male and female wanted it to be more controlling. It wanted it to dominate the body. It wanted to be in there, have it in there first, and start assimilating as much of it, of itself, into it as it could. Then, as the embryo grows, when it's time, when they think it's time, it was the female that did this, the female part of original first being. She'd take her energy, a wall of source energy, go up to the brain, to where the head would be, and then push the other spirit, the originally Gaian spirit, to the left side of the brain. And then she leaves this wall right there, and then grabs you, puts you in over here, and closes the head first with some soft energy. Its source energy was soft, and then coats the body, and then opens it up so it flows. Okay, it's a very soft, controlled thing. It's like one motion. Okay, it takes no time. So that's how a soul or the spirit that's being put in the body gets there. That's how it happens. And then as that child grows, um, physically and metaphysically, you put everything together. Only about 10% of that child is actually you, and that's DNA. It's got a totally different spirit. It has nothing to do with you or the female or the male person involved. Uh, the physical DNA is part you and part you and part the other, the spouse or whatever, the male and female. Um, when you break it, and then plus that's got that's being worked on by the spirit of the planet, because remember that's in there. When you break it all down, it's about just a little better than 10% is you. So when things go good as you're raising your children, please be happy. But when they're not, please understand, unless you're beating your child, it's not you. Okay? What we do and everything, what we show our children, that's important. Okay? It is important. But when you can't override an issue with your child, realize it's not you. When you're trying hard to do the right thing and you're careful and you have love and you're doing everything you can and there's still a problem, please do not doubt yourself. Please do not blame yourself. Okay? Be happy like that little bird. Yeah. It's also saying, hurry up. Things to do today, something about a bus, getting on the bus. Oh, okay, whatever. Anyway, when an animal like a bird, when it comes to give you a message like that, just to say something, as you hear its voice, it's actually doing something else. It's actually is talking with other birds. It's trying to make itself known. It's calling. Okay, that's what it's doing as a physical body, and it has Kundalini or core energy, dual spirit core energy too. But then, as soon as you relax your mind for a moment, you can be doing whatever. You relax your mind, and then here comes the energy behind it, and it's animal essence talking. It's also Lily talking to me through it. You look at it, see the energy, you feel it, you see if it's male or female. I will hopefully get something done on that before I go. That was an important thing I've put out before. Um, After I'm gone, the personal logs that I'm doing, Paul will be putting them for sale. Um, when you, if you get one of these, this is me talking as it is. Be prepared for anything. Okay. If you have children and you're concerned about what they hear, listen to it first. Okay. If you've ever taken my advice on anything, take that. Um, I'm not a crazy ranting, screaming nut, but at the same time, I tell it like it is, and sometimes I'm a little aggressive about it. Okay. Um, um, Sorry, I need to get back on track here. Just there's a lot going on. Everything's ready to close. Okay. Um, so that's got most of the birth stuff. That barrier. Excuse me. Boy, that's hot. That barrier that goes from that's in between the two halves of the brain. That source energy. That's what December 21st, 2012 is about. It's literally me being a body, me pulling the stuff out. Um, I did it in April of 2012 because everything was so screwed up. I started doing it early. And if somebody wants to try to research it, they can. But if you go and look back, the people started becoming more awake. I don't know how you're going to do that, but and it doesn't matter. None of this is about me. I have to say who I am. I have to do what I got to do, and then I got to go home and continue. Okay. Um, but everything was so screwed up. I didn't know what to do to help. I didn't know how to. What I was here to do, as best as I understood it then, was just falling apart. It had fallen apart. I was supposed to be telling everybody about praise Mother Father God. That's what they wanted me to do, and she came to me and told me you're going to be like Sylvia Brown. I said, y'all are really important because we all came from you, and that's a big thing. But it's not about you; it's about family. And the female said, no, it's not. And then the male energy was right behind her, backing her up 1,000%. She said, no, it's about us. And I said, no, it's not. And then the fight started. So, anyway, um, so with the barrier gone, when someone was to be a quote unquote psychic, a metaphysical practitioner, psychic is a box people put you in, and then they say you're not this, you're not that. And it's like I said, you've heard me say before recently. Someone says, "Are you a psychic?" And then you just ask them, "What's that? What are the parameters that define psychic? What are you talking about?" They said in the dictionary. She would look it up. You're asking me a question. If I'm something, then that means you know what your parameters are. What are they? Everyone has abilities, folks, and it's time for everyone to start understanding, accepting that fact, and it's going to happen a little quicker than slow. And as their minds are opened up and these bodies are softly manipulated from the other side, and Lily's going to do that, she's going to help everyone open up their energy so it can open up, and that'll be her literally inside the field. That'll be part of that. That'll be our. And it's time for everyone to be released from these flesh prisons they're in. I don't mean pulled out. I mean literally just the things that keep you locked in. You need to be able to flow more freely so you can up and become yourself while you're in a body. Okay? You're going to have a lot of help on this. Okay? I had to come here and just start. Raise hell. Deal with the other side and deal with everything over here. Anyway, So with the barrier and everything, when somebody that metaphysical barrier and their source energy, when somebody when the original first being male and or female wanted someone that is a female that ran this, she was a boss. When it was to this type of thing, when she wanted someone to have a more metaphysical life, like to be a quote unquote psychic, then she made the barrier thinner. And then both halves of the brain talked better. You know, there was more flow of energy, and they were a little stronger. It's easier for them to communicate with that person. Someone's a surgeon, an engineer, a scientist. They have to be a little more conscious minded. So they would have a thicker barrier. And I have a lot of friends and clients who are surgeons, scientists, all kinds of stuff. And they're really cool. And they're opening up, and folks, everything's going to be fine. But this is not easy. Not for anyone. So anyway, okay, that'll close that up. If you have a lot of other questions on that, just get a hold of me for a consult. Go to JAYARAEESSEX .com, my website. I need to put that on the videos. I didn't even think about it. And then you can make a consult. It's $300 for 30 minutes and $400 for 40 minutes. And the $400 one is where we give you the crank up, the free energy work, the free crank up on top of it. And it's $200 less than it used to be. Okay, I'm doing everything I can for as little as possible. I know it's still a lot of money. Trust me, to me, $20 is a big thing. 4 years ago, I was starving, literally. You can tell by my gut I'm not now. I always fed the animals first, though. Anyway, so that's got the birth thing handled, also. Now, death. Okay, what's going on with death? What actually happens? What are the issues with it? When people die, it's seldom smooth. Sometimes it is, but it's seldom smooth. Can he pour it without messing it up? Eureka! Why is that? Excuse me. So it's like a succulent coffee. It's not. I just want to clean it off, and I got to get off my finger. Good coffee, though. So what is it with the frustration that you can see with a lot of people when they're dying? It's almost like they're fighting themselves half the time. You can see it in them physically. You can feel it in them. Those of you with, that type of heart energy. What's up with that? Do you know? A lot of people were thinking there's things they want to do, they're afraid to go and everything, and that's very true. Believe it or not, thanks for thinking that. The vast majority of you just did. Oh yeah, we go into that time all the time, all of us do. When you got to remember something 2/3 of the time, a little better than 2/3 of the time, you went back in time and just looked at it again. Lots of times you use a scanner. You can use a pineal tube, and you can go into the field. Is, believe it or not, part of what's part of me, part of what I am, and then just get information. You just go out there with the intention of wanting something, and then it comes to you. There's no magic scrolls or books or librarians. It's just you need it, and it's offered. That's all. Things are much simpler than they're made. They're not as, we tend to think of things as physical bodies, on the other side and everything. It's not physical bodies. You've had lives on all these different planets. It's not like that. We do the best we can to understand and perceive things the best we can while we're learning. I think that's a good thing. And if you're worried about being wrong, I think that's a bad thing, because then you never get anywhere. I'm concerned about having made a mistake and staying there, but that's it. Okay, when we're dying, there's a lot of things going on. Well, these religions and everything, make you afraid of what's going on. Am I going to go to hell? Am I going to be punished? The soul-loving God, that's is made that said I'm a sinner because somebody in my family from the very beginning did something wrong, and even though I haven't, it's like you think about religions honestly with a clearer mind, it's like what the frack. How did they get us to believe this? I'll tell you how they got you to believe it by the original first being male and female, using those wonderful angels that you think they are, the first ones, and then have them just run your mind and control it. Take their energy, go right in your crown, and just run you like a little puppet. Anyway, when remember inside you who you are while you're in a body, who you are accumulatively. I think it's a word like that, but if not, we'll make it up and make it work, okay? It's the two parts of the core energy, what they used to call Kundalini, the two snakes, or do call the Kundalini two snakes. 40% being that came from the planet, the other 60% averages being you. Excuse me a minute. Okay, sorry. Lily's kind of getting on my case, and she's right. Anyway, so when you're dying, you have those two energies in the body, and the energy that originally came from Gaia, that's planetary essence, which is female universal essence. Okay, that likes to hold, and some of it has some male in it. Don't get me wrong, but it's mostly female. Okay. Now that wants to hold on to the physical body because the physical body is part of the planet. They originally came from the planet. They want to hold on. They don't want to let go. And then your conscious mind also says, "Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I'm in fear. I don't know what's happening." And I can't die. I'll go to hell. Blah 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 blah. And then who you really are inside, especially when you haven't contacted become yourself and really contacted your real you in there. If you haven't awoken, then you're going to be kind of freaking out too. It's like, oh geez, what the hell? See, inside your personal spirit, you just want to go. But the conflict I was talking about, I mentioned earlier, where people want to, they're coming and go and really frustrated about dying. The real you, the spirit inside, it wants to come out and go. Okay? It's like, I'm done with this. That's enough, man. I'm out of here. And you take off. The physical body, the energy, the spirit, ascension energy, the spirit from the planet wants to hold on to the body and keep it. I'm holding on to this. This is all I got. So that leaves you in conflict with yourself most of the time, not always. And then plus, there's love. The love you have for those you care around you. Are they going to be okay? There's a lot of things that play into this. Once the majority of people are awake, they're going to know that they're just in a body for a short time. They're going to know, especially in the future coming up, starting 2020, before 2020, people are going to be taken care of better from the other side. Okay, your life's going to get better. I told you that. I promised you that. Hold me to it. Okay, it's going to happen. Watch. I'm telling you. If I'm going to do something myself, I'll tell you it's going to happen because I know it will. I can't always feel everything about me when I'm out of a body, not attached, but there's some very simple truths I know, just as concrete as, concrete. It just is. It's a foundation of knowing, understanding, and feeling, but I also see it. Plus, everything on the other side substantiates it. And I talk with everything over there. Excuse me. When the spirit from the planet is finally relaxed enough to let go of the body, usually it's just so much pain and suffering. It's just like, hey, I've had it. I'm leaving this thing too. It also, a lot of that depends on that particular part of what used to be Gaian energy, what came from Gaia, that's inside you. They're individuals too. They're people too. Okay? They're spirit, sentient energy. They're separate. So some of them are anxious to go home and they're not worried about it, and some of them freak out more. Some of them want to hold on harder. Some of them are ready to let go. That's why I said, folks, barely over 10% of your children are you. Okay? So, hey, Herky, I'm coming, buddy. I love you. He's already eaten and gone out and had his meds and everything, but that's just a sign for me to hurry up. Anyway, so when it's time to die, both of you need to pretty much be settled down or the body shut down. Now, what is going to happen as more people are awake normally, when it's really time and you really want to come out, you're going to be able to. You're going to be able to relax, meditate, and just drop the body and come out. Um, Hopefully that'll start happening about be more prevalent to happen about 100 years from now. Okay, no promises on that. That depends um, on how y'all do with your waking up. Everyone's going to wake up, but how fast and all you do it, that's your business. It's being done over there. It's being made to happen. I'm telling you, y'all going to wake up. And if you're not the kind of if you have so much negativity in your body that you don't want to wake up, you're not going back in the body again. That's the way it is. Things are changing. Okay. Um, there's enough negative influences in life. You don't need negative people in the body. Now, maybe have a planet where they can hang around and be by themselves and have lives. Yes, but that's enough of this. Using each other to mess with each other. Because when someone is negative, they don't want to be around something positive anyway. I mean, it's about everyone. Remember, equal value. Okay. So, with death, the body does literally finally shut down. But it's important for both of the two parts of the core energy, the two spirits, the Kundalini, both parts, to actually let go. That's when death is smooth and easy. Now, I've also mentioned before, like the Sega antelope have died, like different lives I've been in. Okay, part of my death has been the same thing. When I was George, that's what happened. Okay, my throat got the throat was a byproduct. The bacteria that only live for a few hours anyway, they're literally softly mutated to where you just softly just shut down and die. Your immune system. You don't get AIDS or something like that, but your immune system just starts shutting down. Okay, it's a whole different process. It just starts tearing. You tear apart. Your body goes at itself, tears itself apart, and then you just fall over. But sometimes your throat does get swollen, not painful, but it does swell up. I don't feel pain like normal people. I don't know, but it's not really painful. I know that for a fact. For me, I couldn't even feel it. Just being soft. The doctor was kind of freaking out. Thought I was supposed to be hurting. But anyway, and then you just shut down. It's quick. Maximum time, something like this, is going to be about 2 weeks, a week or two. And there's not dragged out things like cancer and everything else. And your lives will be so much better when you realize you have family out in space. The Fae will start making bodies in front of you. Things are going to change to where you have better lives. Well, your death will go smoother too. The body's death, not your death, but your body's death when you go home. Remember, the way it's going to be set up and the way it used to be, but it started getting crazy near the end here, getting towards 2012, Earth 2012, is like Monday through Friday. Your normal self floating around as spirit, just having a good time. No pain, suffering, feeling things cleaner and better and stronger. You think you feel love right now in a negative body? Wait till you feel it when you're yourself. It is intense. It's incredible. It's clean. It's beautiful. There's nothing holding it down. There's nothing slowing down the frequencies. It flows. Do not hear that and think you want to make yourself go home early. Please respect your life that you're here. Respect yourself. Take care. Do everything you can to help yourself, and hopefully you have enough heart energy to want to help others too. Okay, I need to say that every time I say that because I do not want to be thought of as saying the wrong thing when it comes to that. Okay, it's very important that the union between two different spirits coming together in a physical body. It's all an offering of the planet, the energy of the physical planet, the energy of the planet, your personal spirit. That's a very special time. That's a very special event, and it should be honored, at least in my opinion. Whatever you all think is great. I don't tell you anything you have to do. I'm telling you the abuse is going to stop, but I don't tell you what to do. That's none of my business. It's like when I go into people's heads, it's like the government, they're so worried about it until I get near an airport. He's going to go in his head and control something and run the plane. The CIA especially, they go crazy all over me. Same person, follow me back and forth, and there's about another 4 or 5 hanging around, and it's stupid. Um, I help. I serve. Anyway, um, so that's the basic issues with death. It's going to be easier and softer and more relaxed. And when your body shuts down like that in a more natural fashion, it's easier for both parts of you to let go. Like I'm telling you, folks, that brother spirit, you're ready to go. You're ready to get out of there. And the more awake your family is around you, they'll understand it. You're going home. And what I said earlier, and I dropped away, sorry about that, was 5 days a week, you're in yourself, just natural, floating, relaxing, having a good time. And then Saturday morning, you put on a body jumpsuit, zip it up, and then you go out for 2 days, and then you come home Sunday night, and you unzip it, and then you're yourself again floating around. Basically, that's what it's like. As you awaken, become stronger, more aware of yourself, who you are, and what's around you, and then you see further than that too. Hey, Herky, I love you, buddy. Then all of a sudden, you're gonna see truth for yourself, your own truth. Isn't that what it's about? You want someone else's truth? Read a book and say, that's the truth. Read the Bible. That's the truth. God wrote it with his own hand. Wow. I've never seen them actually, the original male and female, I never saw them actually make a hand. I've seen them move stuff all over the place, do all kinds of crazy stuff, but not that. Folks, that's birth, death, and ascension. I don't really care much for the word ascension because it implies too much is just false. When the physical body dies and you come out, your frequencies are you're finally you again, and you're not attached to negative frequencies. So in a way, you are at a higher vibration. Not in a way, you are. Your frequencies are vibrating without being slowed down by the physical mass, so they are cleaner. But it's only who you were. And if someone does have some negativity, which a lot of you think you have all this negative issues, you don't. You're in a body having a negative life. I mean, having a life with negativity in it. So, and some of them are really hard, you know? The cleaner and lighter you are, usually, the worse your life is. And you get mad at people for attacking you, and you think that you're negative because, you know, you're protecting yourself? Don't stop doing that. Be you. What would happen if I did that? Folks, you find the way you are, and if you want to improve yourself, cool. It'll be when you're out of your body, and you're your normal self, and you're relaxed from the life that you just had to go through. And so many of you are having so many lives so close to back and back. On this planet that we have lives, you need to be out of your body at least 100 years in between lives. And if you've had a tough life, 150 years before you go back in the body. People have been going back in after about 38 years and stuff like that. Okay? Sometimes less. That builds up abusive frequencies, and you know that's all that's being going to be controlled now on the other side. Man, things are going to get wonderful. I'm telling you, they've already started. A lot of people can feel the difference in the field. So, when you talk with other people, you might want to think about when they say a word. Ask them, hopefully, kind of politely and curiously, what do you mean by that? When you say ascension, what do you mean by ascension? Should we look it up together in a dictionary and make sure that that's what you're talking about? And just tell them, I'm not giving you a hard time. I don't know. But if we're going to talk about something, I'm going to be honest, and I just need to know what the heck we're talking about. And then as you're helping yourself and your friend, or even a stranger, you're helping yourself, but you're helping them too. Okay? Waking up is not the easiest thing to do. Once you're awake, you pretty well hold on to that. Okay? Folks, love you, man. Take care, have a good one, and see you in a little bit.